Yes, it's suffocating. It suffocates me to be breathing at the same air as you. Please, don't try to change my mind. Using your first love on me, for God's sake, and all this, just free me, they begged, joining his hand in front of him. Do you really want me to free you? He asked. His voice was cracked, feeling his heart were clenching, and they answered without wasting a second, making him broke even more. I love you, Taehyung, he confessed with so much emotion, and he couldn't hold back his tear. But he accepted his eyes. But I don't. After coming back from his job, he locked himself in the room. He tried his best to keep himself far away. That breakdown. The morning after Taehyung's another burst out, they become numb. Walking out of his room, he drove to his job, office being lifeless. The time Taehyung's words were wandering him to the soul. He couldn't believe that he became the reason of Taehyung's suffocation, and they was desperately wanted to be free from him. I think I can't fight for him anymore. He broke himself with thought, but he shook his head as he remembered about his child. But I can't lose my child. As the thought of his child was losing making him shred, closing his eyes tightly, he sat on the bed, gripping his head. It's not going to work. He heard a voice and snapped his head toward the door, and saw there Lisa with a smirk on his face. Jungkook just let out a frustration sigh and looked away. Oh, Jungkook, that's rude, she pouted while walking toward him. What are you doing here? And why did you come again in my life? Didn't I told you don't show me you're this face? He said coldly, while going away from there, where Lisa was. I didn't want me to get married, even though he found a suitable proposal for me, he said, huffing. That's great. You should think about your future, Lisa, Jungkook said, but this time a little softer. Nah, I don't want to marry anyone else. I came here to let you know that I want to marry you. I love you, and we can make a great couple, she explained. And Jungkook was looking at her like she had gone to heads. Are you even in your sense? I'm already married and love my wife even then, anytime, and soon going to be a father of mine and Taehyung's first child. Jungkook spoke softly and loudly, like she was some kind of insane person who needed time to understand each and everything. Lisa's face were firmed in anger. She clenched her jaw angrily. I did everything to break their relationship, and you're saying you're still in love with him? She yelled in frustration. But when she realized what she said, his head snapped toward him. But to her surprise, Jungkook was smiling at her. She didn't know what to say. She became afraid to see his reaction, and his smile made her afraid for some reason. I know everything from the beginning, he spoke, and Lisa stared at him wide-eyed. What? Cutting up off, he continued. How you successfully brainwashed me to deny that my child wasn't mine. He said everything with calm, but his face turned into anger in the end. Lisa's eyes were winded at his last statement. What? No, I didn't brainwash you. It's Jack. She stopped saying anything further while Jungkook smirked. Jack. That day Jack called me when I informed about the pregnancy and brainwashed me that my child would ruin my life even though I tried to reason him. But still, he did what you told him to do. He seems in anger, and Lisa stood there now. How do you know? She asked in a low voice. Alex informed me after a few days you left. He heard you and Jack talking about and told me everything, but still, I didn't comfort. And now Jack, since the day I haven't talked to him, he's not my friend anymore. I'm not blaming anyone, because if I was in my right mind and believe in my love, then no one can do this. That's why I haven't uttered a word about this to anyone else, not even they, that he bought or brainwashed me that day. He told everything again. Guilt consumed him that he left them come in between them. No, it's already done, Jungkook. You can't prove yourself innocent by saying this. After some time, she came back to herself as she realized he can't do anything. I know I can't prove myself innocent, but I can prove him that I truly love. Taehyung didn't want you. He wants a divorce from you, and he hates you. Lisa almost shouted in anger. It doesn't matter if he hates me or not. I love him, and I always love him. I'm only his. But he is not here anymore. Lisa smirked and cutting him off. Jungkook felt his heart would clench. He almost lost every hope of getting him back, but still, I'm his. I will be his. God forbid. If we divorce, then in future, my heart will always belong to him, and I always be his. No one can take his place. My heart, and in my life, his voice would barely come out due to the pain he was feeling just to think about their divorce, and that, deep down, he knew this will be waiting for him. Lisa stepped his feet. In anger, he accepted that Jungkook was long gone from his hand, and he meant that. He is only Taehyung, feeling dejected. He stormed out of the room. She didn't notice that the person who was outside the Jungkook room, Taehyung, they stood there biting his lips, tried to hold back his sob. They was going to the kitchen and he saw Jungkook came into the house without noticing him. He headed toward his room. As always, he tried to ignore that, but then he saw Lisa follow Jungkook to his room. They again started forming in anger. They thought Jungkook was going again to cheat him. That's why he hid on the doorway to hear them out and catch him doing anything red-handed, so he can get divorced without feeling guilty or regretful. But as he heard them and Taehyung love confession, his heart clenched painfully. His tears would start pooling in his eyes. They felt his heart become restless for him again. They peeked inside and saw him lean over the window frame. His back were facing him. They was about to step in, but stop, as something in him stopped him. Maybe going to fear. Fear of being betrayed again by him. Maybe he didn't love him truly. That all that was just his guilt, and he just wanted him to satisfy his ego. Because they realized his biggest fear was his ego. In his ego, he never listened to him. In his ego, he hurt him many times, apart from denying their own child. Wasn't his? Now, he can think about this. He was brainwashed that without thinking. But what about other things? So he couldn't bring himself from going again and took a few steps back and turned around and walked away from there. Lisa left the country the next day after the day of her, and Jungkook, without telling anyone, after seeing Jungkook love Taehyung to the extent from never he couldn't come back, he left the hope. Again passed a month like this, painful days and nights, plus Taehyung ignorance. They spread the time with Inwoo. Yes, Inwoo started coming here now, then to spend their time with him. He said he resigned their previous job and searching for a new job in their city. They become more comfortable with him. They start smiling and laughing more often if he was around him. This all was painful for me. And I am breathing all this assuring myself that deep down they love me and only me.